Welcome back to our podcast, Redeemed. As you know from our last one, we are working through the plagues. And as we were doing a little more reading here, a little more research, it's interesting to see how each of these plagues that's going on seems to be a direct attack on the many Egyptian gods that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like every one of them, it's interesting. You can see a correlation between the plague and whatever god it is that he's trying to attack.
Going after here.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm more powerful than this one. I'm more powerful than this one. You guys got all these gods, and I'm better than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
The flies was a direct attack on the sky god Horus. So
I like it.
So we got the flies, and once again we have Moses, Aaron, saying, "Let my people go."
At what point was Pharaoh tired of seeing these dudes?
Why did he keep seeing them? At some point, I'd be like, "No, don't let them in the palace."
Nope, don't let them in.
How did they find me again?
Well, this one he was at the river.
Yep. You're right.
And that's not the first time they caught him at the river either.
I think the blood one, they were at the river too.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like they kind of know where he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's got his routine, man.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because it's like, how do they get to him? Because, I mean, I would assume that Pharaoh is a very, being a high-ranking official like he is, the highest-ranking official, he's got guards and everybody else.
You would think.
Oh, man. Like I said, it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun conversation.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it'll be a fun conversation to have when I finally get there.
I don't need to have a conversation. I'll pop in the VHS tape.
Yeah, there you go.
See how they did it.
So
It's not a view.
the flies are coming, but it says, on that day I will deal differently with the land of Goshen, which is what we're talking about before.
Yep.
Sometimes it pays to be on God's side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes. Okay?
What?
Well,
I would say
excuse me.
ultimately.
All right. It always
Let me
pays to be-
scoot
yeah,
further away
okay.
from you before this lightning bolt just zaps you.
That's not what I meant. Okay.
Fireball.
Okay. Sometimes there are
Perks.
that's the word. That's a better
Okay,
word.
Yeah.
To be on
should
God's
always
side. It's
be on
always
God's
better to be on God's
side.
side. Yes, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that sometimes there are better perks to being on God. Actually, there's always better perks to being on God's side. But in this particular case, we're getting to the point now where it looks like because they were God's people,
They're going to get some special treatment here.
exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Yes.
Okay.
Sharp as a tack.
Yeah. Well,
Sharp as a spoon.
I have been at work 12 hours today. Cut me a little slack.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
No.
I will not.
Okay, fine. But I'm glad you caught me on that one because that did not come out right. That was bad. That was very bad. So I apologize. You always want to be on God's side, but there are some benefits
For the Israelites coming
Yes. Yeah, and it's pretty cool the way that
here. Yeah.
he focuses all his emphasis on the Egyptians and kind of lets the Israelites be.
What if any of the Egyptians tried to get into the land of Goshen?
I think the plague followed them.
Let me
I think even no
Let me
matter
just
whether they
slide
went
in
away.
here real quick.
You ever see that cartoon with the little rain cloud that just kind of follows the person around?
Yeah.
That's why I envision. If you're an Egyptian, you're just
cooked.
in
The
trouble.
swarm of flies.
And
following
it's
you
got to be
around.
annoying as an Egyptian. It's like, why is all this stuff happening?
Yeah.
Or do they even know?
Yeah, and they're like, just let the people go. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the problem.
We'll make the bricks.
At this point, I'm tired of frogs, gnats, and flies.
These guys been shoveling frogs for a week and a half. I'll cook some bricks if that's what it takes. We'll build the next pyramid. Let them go.
Yeah, and you just got to wonder,
Maybe.
from their perspective, how that would work.
No, it's fair.
Yeah.
The average Egyptian probably wasn't loving it.
No,
not.
the average Egyptian's like, man, we're having some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
What is going on out there?
You guys been watching the weather lately? Raining frogs the other day.
And I swear I saw dust turn to gnats.
I know I'm not
There was a
crazy.
dust storm, and then all of a sudden it was flying. I don't know.
No, Bill, you saw it. You saw it, dude. I'm not the only one that saw it. Yeah, no, for sure.
And I think also he was making a point here too, which God is through all of this, God is very good at making a point.
Always.
As we look through every one of these plagues, you should be able to see that God is bringing glory to himself. You know what I'm saying? Even from the aspect of he's making it stick to just the Egyptians and not the Israelites. He's like, these are my people.
I would say that was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if you would do the things you're supposed to do, you could be like them. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But you're not. So
But
here you go.
until
Here's some
then-
flies.
And if you just let him go, I'd quit sending all these horrible things at you.
Yeah.
But no. Big bad Pharaoh.
Yep, big bad Pharaoh. Okay, so we have dense swarms of flies that pour into Pharaoh's palace, into the houses of his officials throughout throughout Egypt. The land was ruined by flies. I wonder what that means by ruined by flies.
That'd be awful.
Maybe just they were so dense that nothing could grow, or just I mean, maybe you could. They were so dense you couldn't even do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Probably. Well,
That's
no,
what I
they're
would think.
in your houses and ugh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
This
Again,
one,
let him go. Please let him go. We're
Yeah.
tired of this.
this plague does get Pharaoh's attention, and he does say, "Hey, go." And Moses says, "Okay." And he says, "As soon as I leave you, I will pray to the Lord. Tomorrow the flies will leave." And he says, "Make sure that you don't deceive us like you did the first time."
Uh-huh.
And what happens?
Guess what?
This time also Pharaoh hardened his heart and would not let the people go.
Yeah.
Which, I was having a discussion here behind the scenes there for a minute too. It's like, what? If I was Moses, I'd have been like, I'm not praying till we're out of
You
Egypt.
let my people go, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On our way out, I will send this
I
prayer
mean-
up.
Yeah.
Moses literally called no backsies.
Yeah.
So
Pharaoh didn't care.
Pharaoh did not apply to basic rules,
No.
which is not cool, Pharaoh. Moses said no backsies, dude.
Yeah.
No take backsies.
Yeah, well, he's Pharaoh. You didn't think the rules apply to him?
Pharaoh with a hardened heart. Not
And so we have another plague.
yes.
The plague on livestock.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Poor animals.
Yeah,
They kind of took the brunt of this
they
one.
did.
Yeah, that happens
Yeah.
a lot.
So he basically Moses goes and tells him, "Hey, God's gonna kill all your livestock if you don't let the people go." And that's me, of course, paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what happens, and all of his livestock died.
But not
Not
the Israelites.
Yep.
Which is the interesting part because it says here that Pharaoh investigated and found that not even one of the animals of the Israelites had died. But yet his heart was unyielding still.
I just wonder
I'll
what's
just get
going
some
through
more
his
horses.
mind.
How much more do you need to see,
Yeah.
dude?
At what point you're like, you know what?
I mean, clearly he
Pack
needed
it
to
up.
see. He needed to see 10 things, but it's just
Yeah.
like, bro, you're losing everything here.
Yep.
This place kind of sucks to live right now because you won't let these people go.
Yeah.
So, but part of me says so some of these plagues are interesting because, like with the livestock, I guess I kind of get it. God just killed it all. You know what I'm saying? Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So then, does that mean that he could just start over with more livestock, or because some of these plagues, like the flies, and the gnats, some of them it doesn't even say that that he talked to God about it. Did they just disappear at some point? Did they just leave? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like
Fair.
with the boils one, the next one. It doesn't say that.
That it stopped or something,
It didn't say
yeah.
it stopped.
Fair. Well,
So it's like, so I wonder how long they lasted. Did they last a month, a day, a week?
I don't know.
it's a fair
You know
question.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good
Some of them
question.
ended quicker, it sounds like, because he's like, you need to pray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the ones that he didn't.
Yeah, because
That's
like
not
this
recorded.
one boils here. Once again, the magicians couldn't even stand before Moses because of the boils that were on them and all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen. And Moses to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord said. So there's I don't know. It just would be interesting, and maybe they got them, and then they had to go for the time that it took to heal. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be. It did. One of the commentaries does ask if the boils were contagious. And the speculation is that they may have been contagious, especially if they're a result of some kind of bacterial infection, since both people and animals got the boils. But some physicians think the plague may have been a form of skin anthrax. That's a bad time.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't have ever thought that was a good time, but
I don't think they're having a good
Well, no, but then like,
I think they're having a bad time.
listen,
all
they're having a
around.
really bad
I mean,
time. But then like,
Yeah.
I mean, livestock, frogs, gnats,
Yeah.
flies.
then you had
boils.
Blood,
now
snakes.
they're possibly getting anthrax on top of that. It's like,
Yeah.
jeepers.
I mean, at some point, if I was a gym, I'm moving. I'm out.
Weird stuff keeps happening here.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Ugh.
But yeah, I just find it interesting because some of these plagues were stopped immediately in the minute that Moses prayed. Others, it just seems like they took their time. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be
It just
interesting.
doesn't. It doesn't say.
Like I said,
on
it'd be
all of them.
interesting to sit down and actually talk with Moses. Say, how did that actually
Yeah.
play out? And then, of course, they don't have all of the details, of course, put in the Bible either,
Right.
as well. So maybe Moses did pray. I don't know.
I'll watch the VHS.
But
I'll let you guys know.
I got questions. Lots of questions I want to ask.
Should you watch the video before you go with your questions?
I would
though?
think so because, listen, as a teacher,
Do your research
Moses
first.
will. If I'm Moses and I'm standing up there for question and answer time, it's like, dude, did you even watch the video?
Maybe you watch the video and then he comes out afterwards. To
Hey,
answer all your
That's what
questions.
it is.
It's like a Q&A.
Hey, you know what we're going to do?
Or and then there's that kid
When
in the
I
back.
get to heaven, I'm going to start a podcast, and Michael's going to help me. And we're gonna put Moses and Elijah.
Oh, think of the guests
and
you would
somebody-
have on that
oh,
podcast.
yeah.
That
We're
would
gonna
be
have some
so
awesome guests.
That would be a good podcast. This one, I don't know, but
And
that
we
would
can,
be a good
and
podcast.
we can do it for all eternity.
Yeah, Michael will love that. Look how excited he is.
I'm going to the other side of heaven where he can't find me.
It'd be a really cool podcast.
It would be a cool
Yeah,
podcast.
you do it.
I don't know who would actually listen to us at that point, but
Probably nobody, but
Be more like a radio show at that point.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
There you
Be
go.
like live radio. Heaven FM.
Heaven FM. I like it.
Just saying.
there you go.
I like it. I like it. Just once again, it's just always just we don't get to see God work in this kind of powerful way every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it seems like nowadays God's working more behind the scenes. If you're watching, like with the election, you can see God moving in a big way. It's like, that's interesting. But at the same time, we don't have frogs, in a massive quantity climbing out of a river.
Thank goodness.
No.
And so
It'll be
it's
a
just
bad time.
It'll
it's
be a bad
really
time.
it's really neat just to sit here and to talk about just the awesome power of God. And I think we need to do it on occasion just to be reminded of the God that we actually serve.
It's on
Yeah.
full display in Exodus.
Yeah, and sometimes we forget. We really do. Was reading through Daniel, and you got the handwriting on the wall. It's like
Oof, that would have been creepy too.
To jump all the way to jump to Daniel, the one that gets overshadowed the most is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego getting tossed in a furnace.
yeah,
That story just gets glossed over too often, I believe.
I don't
They
know
were
if
in a
it's
furnace.
glossed over.
Everyone always talks about Daniel and the lion's den, right? I get it. Lions.
Talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego too.
Not as much as Daniel and the lion's den. Okay.
I don't know.
I'll start a poll.
I think
Well,
that one
And then the fact that they cooked
Daniel
the-
was the first VeggieTale. Remember?
See.
was
Told you.
it ever.
Was the first
I did not
VeggieTale.
know that. That's
Yep.
interesting.
Once again.
But you know what else is a VeggieTale? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
I'm a bumblebee.
The bunny. Just saying. They
Ooh,
cooked that
bumblebee.
furnace extra hot. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they're like, hey,
There's a fourth guy
how
in there.
many guys did we put in there?
Which and we're really giving up good podcast material here.
Yeah, we are.
Nobody's watching. It's
No
fine.
one's watching.
But
It's gonna be a while till we get to Daniel
you're looking
anyway.
at it, you're going. There's 4 guys in there,
Yeah.
and
And they're just standing in there.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar and his other guy like, did we put 4 in there? I
Or-
swear there's only 3 of them.
There
or
was
even
3.
back up before.
Who's
that,
in there with them?
Okay, the guards that threw him in died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that hot.
They were just
But yet
standing by it.
Nebuchadnezzar's standing there looking into the furnace. How close was he standing?
He had great eyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Incredible eyesight.
And how did you really see into the furnace?
And how big was this furnace?
Yeah.
This is shadows, doesn't it? Anyways, tune into Daniel Week.
Daniel.
Yeah, once again, there are so many things that I just want to ask Daniel
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying?
Lots of questions.
But what I was getting at there is that sometimes I don't believe we have the correct fear for the Lord that we
Yeah.
Amen.
By the time these plagues were done, I bet you there's a lot of Egyptians that had a fear for the Lord.
Yeah. Hey, Israelites, can I ask some questions?
Yeah.
How do you become one of you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because all of a sudden you have this almighty God that's bringing frogs, flies, gnats, boils, and you can do nothing. You know?
Literally.
Yeah.
Living it. That's it. And the Israelites are over there living in paradise.
And I mean,
They don't have any flies over there.
yeah. And the Bible is just full of examples like that. I mean, you can go to the one where the bear mauled the guy because he made fun of the prophet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think sometimes we forget just what kind of God we serve. I mean, Ananias and Sapphira, dead
Don't
just like that.
lie to God.
You know, and so I think we just forget. So I think it's good to go back to look at those stories, to look at the ones that we're looking at, the ones that we've talked about, that just it puts God in perspective. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go all the way back to Genesis and talk about, you know, how God created the world and all that stuff and the power there. Yes. But there's something in these stories that just show this. It's like there's something there to fear.
Yeah.
You know?
There's real fear coming. Tune in next week.
Yeah. And I just think that there, at some point, we need that. You know, we need to have, and it's not like this fear that I'm totally just scared of God, but it's a respectful fear
Yeah.
that I have.
It's a
A
healthy,
healthy
fear.
fear.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is what he can do. Let's not push him.
And at the same time, it gives me peace knowing that I have a God who is this all powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely.
And so, really, I think that's the lesson we're getting here is that the glory of God is just amazing, you know, and we need to have a little bit of fear of God.
And don't make up all these different gods, or he will obliterate them in ways that, looking back at it now, is funny. But in the time when they're going through it, they probably weren't laughing.
Nope,
probably
probably
not
not.
at
I
all.
don't think they were having a good time.
No,
Probably
I know
not
they
at
weren't.
all.
Yeah.
Because they're cleaning frogs up out of the streets, you know?
Yeah. How do you guys like your frog goddess now? Billions of frogs.
Yeah, looking over at the Israelites going, how come that was not good?
Yeah. Hey. Whoa. What kind of frog repellent did they have?
So anyway, a lot of
Toad be gone.
Toad be gone. And I think we better wrap this podcast up because it's going downhill very quickly.
It's going downhill
Toad away.
so fast.
Totally. Yeah. See you guys next
Oh
time.
my goodness.